What's going on, guys? It's PokePond back with another video for you. We've got so much to talk about today. The markets, as always, are going absolutely wild. We've got Destined rivals going to the moon, Evolving Skies hitting all-time highs, smashing through all price targets. It's gonna be a good one. Make sure you subscribe down below to never miss an opportunity. Let's get into it. First thing we're going to talk about today is Destined Rivals. We kind of have to. It's doing insane things and just keeps going up there in price. One of the main reasons for that is there just isn't the supply to keep up with the demand. We did kind of expect this to happen, but we're starting to see some serious upward pressure on the price. If we have a look at last sales on TCG Player, last week it was around about that 281 mark, but you can see that aggressive run up in price over the last sort of 2 weeks or so. So $281 last week. This week it's knocking on the door of $300 for last sale on TCG Player, just 3 cents away from $300. We have a look at what's going on in the eBay market, so it's even crazier. Last sold on eBay US is $362, and that's an import from the United Kingdom as well, so that's international arbitrage as well. When we actually have a look at what's available though, for you to purchase in the United States, if you're to buy right now, this is live, a sealed booster box from US to US, so not an import, you've got 2 sellers in the US. That's it. 2 boxes on eBay. I'm not lying. Go and check it out now. Look at this. You've got one at $287 with no photo of the actual product, just a stock photo, and there's another one for $300, and that is it. Everything else here is an import. Look, Australia. Let me scroll up. Look, Australia $272. Australia $282. $282. Australia. That's because it's cheaper on the international markets, and this is the point I've been trying to get across a lot over the last few months on the channel. International arbitrage, i.e. selling from one country to another country to make profit, is becoming more and more prevalent because eBay's making it easier and easier for people to do. Look, here's another one from the UK listed up, $310. Everyone's just trying it on because the US market is exploding. You have 2 booster boxes in stock across the entire US eBay for domestic, so US to US shipping. That is absolutely nuts, and that's just going to continue to push the price up further. We're not seeing the pinch as much over here in the EU markets just because there's more product around for a cheaper price, but it's all supply and demand. That's why you need to subscribe down below to never miss an opportunity, because we tell you what's going on in the global markets here, whereas no one else does on YouTube. Look at this. Australia, Peru, $240. I mean, you want one for $240? Cool. Do you really want to import it from Peru? I don't know, not my cup of tea personally. Australia, $275. Nothing wrong with Peru. I like my Peruvians, but me personally, I'm not ordering a sealed product from halfway around the world. Another one, Australia. Canada for a ridiculously overpriced PCETB. Here you go. Here's the other one, $300 for the other US to US. I have sorted them in price order, but the problem is the reason why the slightly cheaper US one is down below is because it's trying to calculate postage on top to put it to the UK to me. So you've got one at $300 in the US, and then another one, what was it, 270, 280, something like that, with a stock photo. Let me find it. Here you go, 287. So just kind of a bit crazy. If we take the last sale price, which I know is a bit extreme, but if we go off of last sale, $362, and you got to wait for an international import. If we compare that to last price last week, average price, so 281 last week to 362. What was it? 362. We're going to calculate this out because it's nuts. 362 minus, what was it, 281. $81 price rise in the last 7 days. 81 divided by, what was it, 280. I've forgotten. I'm so bad at this. What was last sale last week? Hang on, let's get this proper, because this will be a shocking figure. Okay, 281. 281 times 100. 28.8% price rise between the average on TCG Player last week and the last sold on eBay US. Like I said, there are only 2 boxes for sale in all of the US to US shipping, and that situation is only going to get worse. People are always saying things to me like, oh yeah, but reprints aren't going to be able to keep up with the demand of that. The demand on the US market right now for Destined Rivals is absolutely insane. This is record breaking times in the hobby. This set is going to the moon. I'm so happy I bought into it for cheaper. I bought into it and bought a case of 6 single packs pretty early after the release, and so many people on the channel said I was stupid for doing that. I got so much hate, so many trolls in the comments saying, "I'll just wait, it'll be MSRP in a couple of months." Guys, we're at $362 now. You have 2 for sale on eBay US. Shelves are empty. Where's the stock? Where's the MSRP? Oh yeah, but it'll be in print for another 2 years. Is it? Because the way that I remember reprints is like, potentially it can get printed for any time up in that window, but when you have a hot set, like when we had Evolving Skies and you were getting reprints, they just get bought out instantly. Maybe the price freezes for like 5-6 days while the stock gets bought out, but quite often it didn't drop in price, and there's not enough to keep up with the demand because everyone wants into this set. I think Destined Rivals is one of the best sets, if not the best set of the Scarlet and Violet era, and we're starting to see that reflected in the figures now. Last sale in the UK is £281. Okay, I averaged into these for £180 to £190 when I put my case together, and people said I was mad paying those prices over MSRP. Now we're seeing an insane run up in price. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, I expected there to be a run up in price, which is why we bought in early, but I didn't think it would be as aggressive as this. I think you're going to continue to see a bit of a monster run from Destined Rivals over the next couple of weeks. I'm not even talking months, I'm talking weeks. We're going to see some crazy price movements. Let's talk a little bit about Prismatic Evolutions then. Prismatic Evolutions on the chart here, it looks like it's coming down in price a little bit. Last week it was averaging 109, but when we have a look at last sales, 107, 109, 100, 109, 107. It's regularly selling right on that same price point. It's not really been affected by this whole Costco reprint nonsense. I've been saying it week in, week out. I think that anything $100 or below for Prismatic is such an instant buy. Potentially it might drop down a little bit below $100 for a short period of time, but these are the products that we're buying and we're putting away. We're putting them away for a good amount of time, and any dips in the market will just get smoothed out. Prismatic Evolutions is a fantastic set. There's so much value in it as well, with the actual singles and chase cards that you can pull from it. It's one of the fan favorites, and it's a great one that the rip and shippers love ripping through as well. So again, that also takes so much supply off of the market. It's all supply and demand. So if they start pumping out more Prismatic Evolutions, the price might come down temporarily until people just rip through those packs. It's not going to take long at all because it's such a popular set. I think that even at this price point, around about this 105, 110 mark, I'd still buy in at that price point. I'm continually increasing my position on Prismatic Evolutions. Again, a lot of people don't agree with that. They're like, Costco reprints, 2 years worth of reprints, it's only going to come down in price. Great. I welcome it to come down in price because then I can make an even bigger position and buy more of it. Me, I'm getting in early because it's not a case of I'm going to wait until 2 years, it's going out of print, buy into it then when everyone else is FOMOing into it. No, I'm going to build a massive position now over the next 2 years so I don't have to be spending too much money at once. I can pick up regular Prismatic Evolutions every single month and dollar cost average. If the price goes down, my total buy cost, my average buy cost just comes down. I welcome it. We're not scared by things like that coming down in the market. We've been doing this for so long now. We can see where the good sets are, the good value is, And that's all it is, guys. I mean, I make these videos for you every week to try and give you the data so that you can make your own decisions. And one of the best things that I can say is go with your gut decision. If you think it's a really good set and the price isn't bad on it, go for it. Go for it. If you can afford to and afford to put that away for a while. Last sales in the US, look at this, $93. That is an instant buy for that price. It's on an auction as well. That's absolutely crazy. If I was in the US, I'd be snapping that up straight away. I would quite happily pay $100 plus for Prismatic right now. Here's another one going for $100. Look at that. That's the Costco packs hitting the market. 2 Costco packs hitting the market for $300, so $150 each. Crazy price, crazy markup. I don't think it's going to last. Like, realistically, how long is Costco going to be able to print these bundles and these ETBs for? A year and a half max? How many waves can they put out? How much product can they actually put out in that time? Because a lot of that's going to get ripped. I mean, I know there's people like us that are putting it away, but that's such a small percentage of the hobby. We're a real vocal minority. Although there's investment channels and small little communities like ours, it really is a tiny part of the market. The majority of the people, and I'm talking millions of people around the globe, are buying these to open packs. Even like the singles market as well. So while I get onto this subject, I'm going to go down a little tangent. The singles market is obviously much bigger than the sealed market. Obviously, there's a lot of trading, a lot of buying. But I was thinking about it the other day that say you were new to Pokemon or just returning to the hobby and you think, I want to get into Pokemon cards. I really want to get back into the hobby. I want to get a collection. What would be your first thought about what you want to do? What's your first thought process? And to me, when I ask myself that question, my first thought is, I want to open packs. Okay? Yes, when you're in a little bit deeper, you might see singles and be like, oh, that's cool. I want that for my binder. I'll buy some singles. But really, I think most of the global market is excited to open packs, especially new people coming into the hobby. Kids as well. Kids love to open packs. That just, every time people open packs, that just takes product off of the market. And I think that's why fundamentally sealed will just always be king. Because people are just always opening up packs. And yeah, you get places like Costco flooding the market with prismatic ETBs and bundles for crazy prices, but it's all temporary. Once you start zooming out on a time horizon, I tell you what, a year and a half goes by quick in this hobby. It really does. The fact that we're going into Mega Evolutions era, and then we're going into like a Gen 10 era after that, that's not going to be that long away. That's going to be what, a year and a half's time? That's going to come around real quick. And then there'll be no more Prismatic Evolutions and we'll all be looking back, wishing we bought more Prismatic, Destined, all of these sets, Surgeon, everything. These are some fantastic sets right now. Don't be part of that MSRP gang like, oh, I'll just wait until Prismatic is MSRP. I don't think it will ever be MSRP. I really don't. Last sales in the UK, £104. It's just been holding at that price for a long time now, around about that £105 here in the UK. If you're new to the channel, I compare both US and UK markets. I'm primarily based in the UK. I don't know why I said primarily. I am based in the UK. So we do an analysis on both. We've got viewers from all around the world. So hopefully everyone gets something from these videos. Make sure you subscribe down below to never miss an opportunity. While I'm on that subject matter, I'm also doing a lot more posts on Instagram at the moment, little short reels telling you what's going on in the market, stuff like that, stuff that aren't in these videos. So if you want that bonus content, make sure you follow me on Instagram at PokePond1, PokePond with a 1 after it. Don't accept anything other than that. There's so many people trying to copy and trying to be me. Someone stole the handle PokePond as well. I don't really care. We are PokePond1. We even made a TikTok. We are PokePond1 on TikTok as well. I know TikTok, I'm down with the kids. It's crazy. Anyway, let's talk about White Flare. You might notice on the shelf we have a White Flare. up on the shelf behind us, and you might say, PokePond, in your last live stream and in your last few videos you've been warning us not to buy White Flare Black Bolt because it's going to come down in price, but then you're sat here like a hypocrite with one on your shelf. Well, I could not resist, because I saw it on shelf sitting in a store for 15% below retail 7 days after release. 15% below retail, sat on shelves. There was no Black Bolt to be found, just White Flare. There were 6 boxes sat there. They were in the shop window as well, so I went in and asked, and they were just like, yeah, we only have these few from the shop window. Looks like they just had a case of them delivered to their store. I only bought one. Firstly, because I'm not too hot on the set, I'm happy to just have one from a collection point of view. And 2, I want to save some for other people. I want to save some for the kids. But we managed to pick it up for £47. Retail is £55 here in the UK. So for 15% below retail, I can't say no for that price. It's kind of crazy. And this is what I'm talking about when I was warning people about buying these. If it's already being dumped by stores here in the UK for 15% below retail 7 days after it came out, what do you think is going to happen with this? I think that people's attention is just going to shift. As soon as this isn't the new set anymore, as soon as the Mega Evolutions era starts off, I think that these are going to start sitting around, and I think Pokemon Center is going to get the allocations and the printing wrong for this, and I think a lot of retailers will be sat on this. It's those big box stores that don't like sitting on product as well for too long, and they will fire sell these. So keep an eye out for deals on Black Bolt White Flare. You can see them coming down in price a little bit on TCG Player. Last sold around about that $90 mark, but we won't dwell on that too much. I do expect them to come down even more though, $92. I think you're going to start seeing them for retail price in the US real soon as well, so keep an eye on that. Last sold in the US, $80 on eBay US. Last sold in the UK, £61, 65 all in, £63. They're not hard to get here over in the UK. They're really not. Quite a few retailers have them, and yeah, just keep an eye out in the wild. Like I said, I paid £47. I couldn't not. It's funny because they weren't priced up, so I asked the sales clerk to give me a price on them, and they had to climb in the window to take one out, and I was thinking, like, I don't really want this box, but I just want to see what the price is, more for the fact of, like, so I can tell you guys on the channel. And then she scanned it and she was like, oh, it's £48. And my reaction was, oh. And she was like, yeah, oh, because she thought that's expensive. And I was like doing sums in my head, because I was just like, I really don't want this, but because she said that price, I kind of can't not buy it. I've put it up on display for this week and this week only, just to be transparent about sort of what I'm buying and stuff. I'm going to put it away into dark storage. I don't even really like the box or the set, to be honest, but for that much below retail, I think it's a good buy. So the display can definitely be taken up by better products, so that's going to go over into dark storage probably after this episode. But I just wanted to tell you guys about that little story about finding some in the wild for cheap. Let's have a look at Journey Together then. Journey Together graph is broken on TCG Player, but it's actually been on a little bit of a run. Look at this. Last sale, multiple sales here from one from today, one from yesterday, a few from the day before. Look at this. Multiple sales at the 250 range. Are we seeing a bit of a buyout on Journey Together? Are people FOMOing into Journey Together? Quite surprised to see it up at this price point. The graph is broken, but we can still work it out. So $250 last sale. Last week was the 17th. $225. So it's up $25 in the last 7 days. So 25 divided by 225. Journey Together up 11% over the last 7 days. Something we'll definitely have to keep an eye on. Not something that I expected to see, to be honest, this week. Last sold in the US for the enhanced version with the box topper, $210. Last sale in the UK, £166, and another one on auction for £156 with postage all in. That's $160. That is non-enhanced versions because they are a bit rarer here in the UK. But that's below retail. Below retail Journey Together, not a bad play. I think anything below retail at the moment is kind of crazy. You are getting nothing on the US markets below retail. So I'm sure all the US viewers are kicking themselves and screaming at the monitors for us UK people to buy these out for below retail, even though they're non-enhanced. Me personally, I don't think Journey Together is the best set, but for below retail, it's not the worst set either. Definitely a play there. Let's talk about one of the monsters, one of the titans of the Scarlet and Violet era, and just continuing to juggernaut up the price charts. It's the 151 Elite Trainer box. It's getting less and less likely we're ever going to see any more reprints of that, and we're starting to see that upward price pressure. Over the last 3 months, it's up 24%. 6 months, it's up 57%, and over the last year, it's up 309%. We are going to see some serious price action going forward on 151 Elite Trainer box, particularly the normal version of it. I think that we are going to see some major buyouts and just the supply just completely delete off the market over the next 6 months. Last week, we're seeing an average price of $258, and now we're seeing last sales of $280. So what's that, 62 bucks? No, that can't be right. I just calculated that wrong in my head. Sorry. Let's work it out properly. 258 to 280. 258 to 280. 280 minus 258. $22 price rise, which is 258. 8.5% price rise in 7 days on the 151 Elite Trainer box. It's just continuing to get gains and compound week on week on week. 8.5% is a real decent price point. I mean, real decent appreciation in price for a 7-day period, considering it's already at quite an inflated price over retail. Very nice, the 151 Elite Trainer box. We're so happy we've got one up on the shelf. Shout out to my friend Brian for doing me a trade on one of those. Really happy to get one in my collection. Let's have a look at last sales in the US then. Last sales are $242. $242. But look at this. Here's one for $150. That's really interesting. That's such a swing in price between two sales on the separate day. Maybe one's damaged, I don't know. Very suspicious though, that 150. Don't know if that was a listing error or not, but it seems like the average price here, look, we've got one going for $217 on auction and one for $242. So if we take the average between the last few sales, we're looking at about $220 to $230 for the 151 Elite Trainer box. And it's funny because that to me just seems pretty cheap at the moment. I think that's pretty undervalued considering the range of where that could push up to. If we have a look at the Pokemon Center exclusive as well, look at this, $730 on an auction. $715. Look at this, $800 for the Pokemon Center exclusive version. Absolutely nuts. It's one of the most volatile boxes on the market right now. I've been talking a lot about not investing in PC ETBs because they are so volatile in price. And I think a lot of people don't understand that in the comments, and they'll be like, oh, I buy PC ETBs and they've only ever gone up in price. Yeah, but when you're paying $800 for a 151 PC ETB, that is extremely volatile in price. And what volatility means is it's not necessarily going to go down in price and you're going to lose money. That's not what I'm warning you about. What I'm saying is it can shoot up in price massively and it can shoot down in price massively. It just has bigger swings up in price. That's all it is. Let's have a look then at the UK. Last sale in the UK, £203. Again, just creeping up there in price. And the Pokemon Center exclusive going for $516. Let's move on then to Twilight Masquerade. Twilight Masquerade has had like a really decent run up in price, real steady progress over the last few weeks. But it's actually on discount this week. We're seeing a bit of a price pullback, a little bit of price consolidation. Not too unusual after such a big run up in price. Last week 282 on the average, with the last sales now at 275, 270, 285, 270. So down a little bit. What's that? 270 down like $13 at the max. Not too bad. I wouldn't be too worried about that if you're holding that at the moment. I still think it's a good buy. It just looks cheap. $256 last sold in the US, with the buy it nows going for in the $300 range, which is more closer to its all-time high, potentially an all-time high actually from sale yesterday. So that's quite a swing in price as well. 300 to 256, a $44 price swing between 3 sales yesterday. Let's calculate that out quickly. That's a 17% price swing between 3 sales, between a buy it now and a auction. So that's something to really bear in mind at the moment. We're seeing bigger ranges in swing prices at the moment in the market, and a lot of people talk about timing the market to get the best possible price. To be honest, you don't have to. Right at the moment in the market, if you're looking at buying a box, just keep an eye on it for a couple of days. What's getting listed, what the prices are, because look at this, a 17% swing between 3 sales all on the same day. And it's not just on Twilight Masquerade. We're seeing big swings like this across multiple sets. That's where you get in at a good price point. It's not necessarily about timing the market. You don't have to time the market and wait 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks to get the best possible price. Things are moving so quick in the market, you can get the best price within a 24-hour period. 17% is a significant amount of percentage. That covers your fees if you're a business seller. Let's have a look then at last sales in the UK. £206. Like, I know I keep saying it, this just looks cheap. Okay, our brains have adjusted now to the fact that a £200 booster box is fine. A $250 booster box is fine. That's a medium price for a decent set right now. Let's have a look at Surgeon Sparks then. Surgeon Sparks, we don't always talk about it every week. The price is kind of all over the place. It's up, it's down. But the swings aren't that much, to be honest. It looks aggressive on the price chart, but it's really not moving that much. We did call it here around about this $215, $217 price point, that is too low, because that put it as the lower end of the cheapest booster boxes on the Scarlet and Violet era, and I don't think it deserves to be there. I think it's one of the better sets of Scarlet and Violet. It is more prone to a reprint. Everything Surgeon Sparks sort of onwards in the Scarlet and Violet era is more than likely going to get more reprints. But again, I don't think it's going to affect price that much. It's hovering at around about that $244 range. The fact that Journey Together is going for like $250 now. You've got Journey Together, Surgeon Sparks. Me personally, I prefer Surgeon Sparks. So, I mean, some people will move in on the US markets into Journey. Some people will move into Surgeon. I think Surgeon is a bit underpriced actually at this $244 price point. It is volatile, like I said, to reprints. But if you're willing to buy this and ride out any potential storms or dips, and hold it for at least 2 years, preferably more, I think you'll do more than good with Surgeon Sparks. Let's have a look then at last sales in the US, $250. There's another one here for $245. Last sale in the UK, £230. Again, just creeping up there in price a little bit. Paldea Evolved also seeing a little bit of a pushback in price over this last week. We did sort of say on our channel that we are going to be selling off most of our Paldea Evolved just to put them into other sets that I want to be more heavily positioned into, such as 151 Paldea Fates and Destined Rivals mainly, and also Mega Evolutions once that comes out as well. We want to buy a decent amount of that early, get some early positions into that. So let's have a look then. $368. I wouldn't be worried. Now it's down to $355, down $13 potentially. A few sales here for $340. It's just on a bit of a sale. You can pick up a discount on it. I think Paldea Evolved will continue to have a really good year going forward, and it is a great buy and a great set to buy into as well. Me personally, I just want to reposition myself a little bit more, and that doesn't involve having a load of Paldea Evolved in my collection. But that's just personal. It's not that it's a bad set or a bad investment. Last sale, $290, but that was an instant buyout. Someone got a really good deal on there because look at this, same day, both sales are yesterday. Again, another instant buyout with the new listing tab for $350, which is more in line with where the market actually is at the moment. It's around about that $340 to $350 range, so it's not a surprise when someone dumped one for $290. They needed some quick money, or they just wanted to take some profit on the table. They panic sold here, and this is what I'm talking about with swing pricing. So there is a $60 price swing between two sales yesterday, both on buy it nows. There are deals to be had out there if you're paying attention to what's going on in the markets and you're following a channel like this where you're just educated that 290 is a crazy deal, so you can just snap it up. You don't even need to think about it. So $60 price swing on what markets like 350. Let's just do that. 350. Again, that's another 17% price swing between two sales. Yes, you're not going to get this all the time. You know, people dump in for like 290 and stuff like that, way below market, but it is happening. And that is one of the last sales here. It's the second to last sale that's happening. What is this actually? Lot of 4 case fresh for $1,549. Let's just see what the price is on that. I'm really curious. $1,549 divided by 4. $387 a box. Like, I don't understand why. Like, I get it, they're case fresh, but I don't understand why people are paying premiums. First of all, case fresh is one thing. I don't agree with premiums on case fresh, but I kind of get it because it's like a separate thing. But 4 boxes for way over market, like nearly $50 over market. Like, this should be cheaper than buying single ones. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand it. People are mad. Last sale here in the UK, $289 really £289, sorry, really starting to creep up there in price on the UK markets as well. A little bit of a pullback though on the last couple of weeks. These were going for like 300 to 305 last week when I was looking at them. So a tiny bit of a pullback, but barely anything. It'll bounce right back up to that 305, and 305 is like all-time high, and then like 310, 320 probably in a few weeks time. Let's have a quick look then at Palday and Fates. Palday and Fates is continuing to have a real nice climb up in price. I really like Palday and Fates. $198 last week on the average, and we're seeing it knock on the door of 200 now. So potentially only up a couple of bucks, but we're hitting right on that $200 price point, which is an all-time high for Palday and Fates, and I think it will just continue to go up in price once it manages to break through. We're going to talk about Stellar Crown now. Stellar Crown is a set that we very rarely talk about on the channel. I own quite a lot of Stellar Crown, mainly because I could pick it up for way below retail when it came out, and I quite like the set. A lot of people hate on it. It's got a lot of the Terra Pokemon, which kind of didn't really hit that well in the hobby. Bit of a swing and a miss. But I still like Stellar Crown, and we're going to look at it because it's starting to creep up and it's starting to push all-time highs. It's not that much of a popular set as well. You're more likely to get people dumping it and to get a good deal, and there's probably less people that are looking at it and looking for those deals as well. Less people searching for Stellar Crown. But I think if you put it away for the long haul, it's not a bad buy, because sometimes in this sealed game, it's about buying the stuff and putting away the stuff that people aren't. Sometimes that's the best play. Look at a set, for example, like Rebel Clash. Rebel Clash in early Sword and Shield, I think it's set 2 of Sword and Shield. I don't know if I'm right on that or not. It's definitely early Sword and Shield. Was one of the worst received sets of all time. And it's got a really decent price point for 2 reasons. One, it was short printed and no one expected it. It just never really got any massive reprints, probably because it wasn't doing that well. And number 2, is no one really put it away. So it's really rare, and you're always going to get people buying every set for a few reasons. One, For some people, it'll be their favourite set, or they're still trying to collect it. They're still trying to pull singles, so they're still buying product to try and pull a full master set or something like that. Also, sealed collectors. There are a lot of sealed collectors out there that want one of every box. And as time goes on, it gets harder and harder to find these less desirable sets because people didn't put them away. I don't think Stellar Crown's a bad set. It's really knocked on by the hobby, but I think it's pretty decent, and it's starting to climb now, so we're going to start keeping an eye on it more and more. Maybe not every week, but we'll start looking at it more and more. $221 last week on the average price, and last sale's now $231. So a little bit of a creep up in price. $10 up. $10 is like 9%, something like that. 8-9% price rise in 7 days on a set that no one wants. We're keeping an eye on it. This is why you subscribe down below to never miss an opportunity, because I will point out these weird plays when I see them. Look at this. Right. Look how many tabs I have open. I make this video every Saturday for you guys. How many plays do I let you know? You take some other Pokemon YouTubers, investors, whatever they are. They might say something that's obvious. I see a lot of these Pokemon investment YouTubers now just telling you stuff that everyone knows. Mega Evolutions is going to be a good set. Destined Rivals is a good set. Prismatic Evolutions is a good set. We know that. Who's here telling you about Stellar Crown going up 8% in the last 7 days? There's no one. We've got a whole tab, a whole browser full of tabs of plays. Literally all of these, pretty much everything sealed right now in Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet is a decent buy, in my opinion. Apart from maybe Shrouded Fable, Paradox Rift, Journey Together. I think that those are probably 3 of the worst plays you can make right now. And even then, they're not bad plays. Last sale in the US, $214, making it one of the cheapest Scarlet and Violet booster boxes in the market right now, because no one's looking at it. Last sale in the UK, £160 with £5 postage. All in, that is bang on retail. That is MSRP here in the UK. But look how horrible this is. Look, someone put a sticker over my boy right on the front. I hate it when stores do this. Whenever I get a booster box like this, that has a sticker on it or on the side, I will always try and carefully peel it off, but sometimes you just get those stickers that don't peel off well as well. It's definitely a risk. I always like start peeling the corner first to see whether it's one of those stickers that will like come off nicely or it's going to tear. But that is a horrendous place for them to put a sticker on it. That will be added, so value added tax, that's the UK version of your US taxes, will be added. It's just like a reserve number. Like, I don't know which store did that in the UK, but that is absolutely horrendous to put a sticker like that right over the top. By the way, while I'm on that subject matter, if my local card store is watching this video, Dan, if you're watching this, I know you probably are, on your sleeved booster packs, please stop putting the little price tag on the front, because I spent ages trying to take those little price tags off of my sleeve booster packs, and some of them ripped to the front of the pack. Some of us want to keep sealed products. So Dan, if you're listening, please, on your sealed product, find a way of doing it, or use some different price tags or something like that. Maybe just put like a price thing next to it where it is on the shelf or something like that, because those little tab things, it's fine on the blister collections because that's like clear plastic. You can just peel that off, but on the sleeved packs specifically, when you put the little price tag on there, if you try and take that off, that quite often rips or it like leaves glue behind. It's horrible. Please stop doing that. Anyway, let's have a look then at Paradox Rift. Paradox Rift is, for some reason, holding insane value. I mean, it's 209. When I say insane value, it is the cheapest booster box on the market. We've got sales here for $200. But the reason why I'm saying it's stupid that it's holding this price is we can get this from Pokemon Center UK for below retail right now in the EU, and we can ship them over to you for much less than $209. So be very careful about buying into that price point. We'll have a look at Pokemon Center in a minute. Last sale in the US, $194. That does, I believe, make it the cheapest booster box of the era right now. And I think it's one of the worst sets. That's just personal opinion. Don't be mad at it. If it's your favourite set, that's cool. You're allowed that. We all have our favourites and ones that we don't have favourites. I actually own 0 Paradox Rift. That's one of the few sets that I own nothing of because I'm not bothered about it. Last sale in the UK, retail, another MSRP product. We've got MSRP on what? Paradox Rift, Temporal Forces, Journey Together. We're spoiled here in the UK, we really are. But you can buy it from Pokemon Center UK even cheaper than that. You can buy it for way below retail. So that is probably just someone buying it from Pokemon Center UK and just flipping it straight away. Let's have a look at Pokemon Center then, since we keep talking about it. Pokemon Center US completely sold out of everything. Sign up for the stock alerts on your local Pokemon Center if you want to get your chance to join the endless queue of pain for trying to get pre-orders. We did get lucky last time we joined our queue. We managed to get a pre-order on Mega Evolution Booster Box, Booster Bundle, and the 2 Elite Trainer boxes as well, so we were quite happy with that. Available right now in stock. This is what I'm talking about: Paradox Rift and Temporal Forces here in the UK. I don't think Temporal Forces is a bad buy for that price. That's below retail. Retail price is 164 or something, or 166. I always forget which one it is, but it's here from source for £143. So there you go. Temporal Forces is again holding quite a lot of value in the US. It's up right at that $237 range. Another sale there for $245. We're talking the same price as Surgeon now. And Journey Together's up there as well. I mean, I like Temporal Forces because it's cheap here in the UK, but I probably wouldn't be paying those prices. I do really like Temporal though, and I think that Temporal is one of those sets that will do well on a much longer time horizon, because I think that people will look back at it with rose-tinted glasses, i.e. in times to come, people will appreciate it once they're looking back on it. I think that the Raging Bolt SIR is one of the most unique artworks of the era, and I think it's a massively undervalued card as well. And there's just a lot of good artworks in there. Other notable ones is like the Walking Wake as well. I think that's a fantastic card. But there's lots of good cards in the Temporal Forces set. So if you're in the UK, you can pick it up super cheap. If you're in the US, you're going to have to pay kind of the average price for a Scarlet and Violet booster box at the moment, around about that 240 range. Let's move on to the big boys of Sword and Shield then. Evolving Skies is taking off again. Surprise, surprise. We've been very vocal on the channel over the last few months that where it was at that $2,000 price point, that once it breaks through the $2,000 price point, it will have an easy run up to $2,500 and it won't take long at all. That's exactly what we've seen play out here this week over the last 7 days. So let's have a look then. On the 22nd, which is 4 days ago, we were at $2,000. We've got 2 sales here last week at that $2,000 mark, $2,100. We break the $2,000 mark and break it quite comfortably. And then look, in 4 days, not even a week, we hit the all-time high of last sale, $2,500. We called it exactly how it was going to happen. It was going to have a quick run up to $2,500. And I tell you what, there's not much stopping it past $2,500 as well. The next break point will be $2,800. $2,800 is not a massive break point either. I think that once it hits there, it might hover there for a week or so, and then it will smash right up and will be having the issue it had at 2k. It will be knocking on the door of 3k. You'll get like one crazy sale at like 2,999, and then it will just flirt with 3k for a little bit and just bounce around for a month or so, and then it will break 3k. I mean, we've been calling it pretty accurately on the channel, and we're seeing it play out now in real time. If you want real figures of how much it's up on the average price, last week average price 1960. Last sale 2,500. So 2,500 divided by 1960. It's up $540 over the last 7 days. I mean, bear in mind 2,500 is a crazy last sale price as well. So we're comparing a last sale to an average price. So it's not super accurate, but it's just to give you an idea of sort of like the max range that's going on here. So 540 divided by 1960? 27% price rise at the max end of things in 7 days on an already insanely priced box. But I still think it's undervalued, even at that. Like I said, it would have, we called the $2,500 price rise. I think that it will go to 3K before the end of the year, quite easily, to be honest. It might even do that over the next sort of 8 weeks or so. But I think the $3,000 price point by Christmas is actually quite conservative. It's quite a reserved price prediction. We could see something even crazier, 3,500, 4K a box by the end of the year. That's entirely possible. I'm not saying it will, but I think it's comfortably going to hit 3,000 a box by the end of the year. Let's have a look then at last sales in the US. $2,300 on a buy it now. That's a new listing as well, so it just got bought out instantly for $2,300 for a nice minty box. Someone taking some profit. Got feeling like they might kick themselves for doing that though. Last sale in the UK, 1944. We're like pretty much at an all-time high here in the UK. We did see a crazy sale of just over 2K recently. But yeah, 1944 is absolutely nuts and right up there at that all-time high. Especially when you start thinking about the conversion rate into dollars as well. The conversion rate of that is like over $2,600. So there you go. Let's have a look at Fusion Strike. Fusion Strike having a bit of a flat week. It's been pretty flat for about the last month or so. I mean, that's quite normal after it's had such an aggressive run-up in price. However, I say, that's just TCG Player. Look, last sales $727. Let's have a look at eBay. What does that say? Last sale on eBay from yesterday, buy it now, $900 for Fusion Strike. Now that is an all-time high. In fact, look at the swing price. 2 sales the same day, $800 up to $900. $100 swing on an $800 box. That is a 12.5% swing on Fusion Strike between 2 sales yesterday. Fusion Strike is in such an interesting position where it can just very quickly move to 1K and above. 1K is going to be a point where it's going to struggle to get through. You're going to see a few sales over and then it's going to start dipping down. It's going to pull it down under 1K again, and we're going to bounce on 1K for a while. Unless you see an aggressive buyout, which you might see again like we have seen in the past on Fusion Strike, I think that it's going to flirt around $1,000 for the next 2 months. And then once it's through $1,000, quick run up to $1,400, $1,500 a box. I could see it happening by the end of the year, if not sooner. If we see another aggressive move on Fusion Strike, we might never see another Fusion Strike under $1,000 again. Could happen, especially where Evolving Skies is like pushing everything up as well. Evolving Skies is hitting new highs. Fusion Strike is kind of getting pulled up by that a little bit as well. There's a famous phrase we use here in the UK, which is a rising tide lifts all boats. Evolving Skies is that tide, and the boats are Fusion Strike, Lost Origin, Brilliant Stars, Astral Radiance, Silver Tempest, Chilling Reign. They all benefit from more money coming into Sword and Shield. Last sale in the UK, £567. Again, right up there at that all-time high kind of range, but it just looks cheap compared to the US markets when they're going for like $900. Kind of crazy. Let's have a look at Lost Origin. Lost Origin kind of having a bit of a flat week as well. A little bit of a consolidation over the last 2 months after the aggressive price rises on most of the Sword and Shield sets. Last week we were looking at an average price of $492. and now it's at 540. Honestly, if Fusion Strike's selling for 900, Lost Origin should be at 800. It should never be more than $100 behind Fusion Strike. I put them both up there as almost like joint the two best secondary sets after Evolving Skies. And they're in a class of their own, ahead of all of the other Sword and Shield sets, in my opinion. Those top three, Evolving Skies, Fusion Strike, Lost Origin, should be reams ahead of everyone else. And then you get the next category, which is like your Chilling Reign, your Astral Radiance, Silver Tempest, Brilliant Stars. That's how I just see the sets, in my opinion. So yeah, last sale's 540. Last week, 492. Maybe it is up a little bit then. That's the problem with average prices. Let's have a look at eBay. eBay last sold 550, so I guess that's just market now. 550 looks cheap when Fusion's selling for 900. That's kind of nuts. And again, I know 900 is like an extreme and it's an out there and it's just one sale, but that's the last sale. You know, that's what we're looking at on the price data here. Last sale on Fusion, 900. Last sale on Lost, 550. So there you go. Last sale in the UK here, 480. Someone got one on one bid on an auction. I think you got a little bit of a deal there because market on the same day for about an hour was 550. Creeping up there in price. Astral Radiance coming down in price a little bit actually. Again, it's not in one of those top three sets, so I don't think it's at like the forefront of people's minds when they're searching for deals. Definitely something to pay attention to. It's a decent set. $388 last week. Last sold here $368, $370. So potentially dropped around $20 over the last 7 days. It's just on discount. There's a deal to be had. They're not making any more of it. Silver Tempest is slowly creeping up there in price and pushing all-time highs as well. $360 last week and $372 this week, with 4 being sold 2 days ago for right on that $400 range, which is a little bit of a price point move up. If we take an average of the last sales, we're bang on that like $395, so it's potentially up $35. 35 on 360. Let's work that out. 35 divided by 360. Silver Tempest up nearly 10% over the last week if you take average sales. Not too shabby. Silver Tempest and my boy Lugia hard carrying that set. Brilliant Stars, their chart is broken, but we can still work things out. Breaking through that $400 price point, which is really interesting. It's had a really good run over the last couple of months. Brilliant Stars and Silver Tempest, to be honest. So 405 last sale. Let's have a look at last week. Last week 425. So actually reduced down from last week. Hang on, let's have a look. 425, 425, 390, 425. Yeah, actually come down in price around $20. It looked like it was going up on the average price chart, but it looks like it's down $20, which is around about 5%. So you can get a deal on Brilliant Stars this week if you want to move into Brilliant Stars. Let's talk about my boy Crown Zenith. It looks like it's dropping down in the charts, but when you actually run the numbers, it is pretty average. Last week it was $181. This week it's $182 to $188. So potentially up a couple of bucks. Pretty much just flat when you average out the prices. So Crown Zenith is one of my favourite investments. I say that it is one of the safest places to put your money because it is such a widely desired set to rip. It has some of the best singles in the market as well. I love Crown Zenith, and it just continues week on week on week to go up multiple percentage points. It's a lot less volatile in price as well. It has small little gains each week, and as you can see on the chart, it just slowly gains value over time. I think it's one of the safest places to put your money. We're going to finish off the episode by talking about something a little bit interesting, and we're going to talk about case premiums. We were talking about case premiums a little bit over the last few days. We did a live stream on Thursday as well. Thank you for everyone that came down to that. If you want to see the live streams, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on, and it'll tell you when I'm going live. We're planning to do more of them real soon as well, and we're doing all sorts. You know, I'm taking questions. I'm doing live price analysis on like crazy products and stuff like that. And one of the things that's been on the forefront of my mind and more people are talking about in the hobby now is case premiums. What we're talking about there is a higher price for more grouped together products. So either a sealed case, so 6 booster boxes or 10 elite trainer boxes sealed together, or in this instance that we're going to talk about now, which is a booster bundle display, which is a sealed case of 10 booster bundles. Now, I personally don't understand case premiums. I don't like them. I don't think that a sealed case of 6 booster boxes should be worth more than 6 single boxes, in my opinion. I think that if anything, it should be cheaper because it's easier to move as one unit. That's just my opinion though. Especially a sealed case of booster boxes. There's no like fancy display. It is just a brown box. I don't understand why people pay a premium on it. I mean, I do understand why, because people want the prestige of having it like that. And I think people are wrong if you assume that having a sealed case means that you'll have more minty boxes on the inside. I've seen a lot of people, especially open stuff in the Sword and Shield era of sealed cases, and they all come out horrible. Like the seals on them are awful. So that's something to be aware of. But we're going to talk about this because I was having a quick look through the last sales on US eBay for like all sealed products, and let's have a look at this booster bundle display. So this booster bundle display sold on a buy it now. There's 10 booster bundles in there of 151 for $1,150. Okay, 1 cent off. It was $11,499. Okay, $11.50. You get 10 151 booster bundles in that. So let's divide that by 10 and see how much they're paying per booster bundle. $115. Let's have a look at how much you can buy a booster bundle on its own for last sold. $70. Free postage. So what? Why? Why is someone paying that much more for a sealed display? Is it worth that much more? I don't see it, in my opinion. And that's a significant amount. So if we take the single one, so we can buy 10 for 70 each. So that's $700. Okay, so let's minus that from the booster bundle price. So someone's paid a $450 premium to have it in a sealed display case. I think that's nuts. Like, I don't understand it. I would never do that personally myself. $450. Let's calculate out the percentage on that. Divided by 1149. Someone's paying a 40% premium? You could get an extra 4 booster bundles if you just bought them as singles. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Anyway, that was just something that I found interesting that I thought I would talk about. But we'll end the episode there. Please do smash the like button if you enjoyed any part of this video. If you got something out of it, please press the like button. If you're one of my regulars or you're new to the channel, pressing the like button is a free way to support the channel. It really does help push my content out there further. Talking about supporting the channel, make sure you subscribe down below to never miss an opportunity. Put that notification bell on as well. We're doing lots more content. We're going to be doing more live streams. The Instagram is popping off now as well at PokePond1. We are doing loads more posts there, and we're giving more information. We're doing little snippets and reels and stuff like that, telling you about things going on live in the market as it happens, so you don't have to wait the 7 days to see all these extra little things changing on in the market. I made a TikTok too, that's at PokePond1. It's pretty much the same stuff as the Instagram though, so just make sure you follow the Instagram. We also have the Join Club on YouTube as well. Thank you for those people. Effectively, it's like Patreon, but it's all done through YouTube. If you get the highest level of that, you are supporting my dream of becoming a full-time content creator. And I also provide a service which I think is incredibly good money for value, where I will connect to you on Instagram and you can DM me anytime, day or night, and I'll answer all of your investment questions, as many as you like. So for that small monthly cost, that is really good for a lot of people. To join that, you have to go on to like a join link in the description, or you have to be on a web browser and go onto my channel and there'll be a join button there, or there should be a join button on this video. For some reason it doesn't appear when you're on mobile. Anyway, I've talked long enough. Hit the like button, make sure you subscribe to never miss an opportunity. Have yourselves a wonderful day, and peace.